Lady of the Faucet, let's get it.
It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R, back to riches, back to riches. Got my call from the R2R. Farmers going up, Brody, check the chart. In the loots, buying all these plots. Thomas G and Mike got the chat on lock. With a drip and pause. Got these dogs and pigeons, farm me, I'm ready to score. Got me a bag of the rich and hard, I think I need more. Group got me in the wave, now I'm swimming the shore. I'm up to the core. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Back to riches, back to riches.
Yeah, dog. Welcome to R2R Wreck to Riches live stream number 88, guys. Live stream number 88, the last one of 2024. Tomorrow will be 2025. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody out there. Happy New Year's Eve. You're hours away from party mode, celebrating, whatever it is you do, friends and family. Everyone be safe tonight. Everyone be safe. We want to be here tomorrow all in one piece, hopefully not too hungover for some of you that drink out there, and ready to kill it in 2025. Ready to kill it in 2025. And remember, I am not a financial advisor. I am for damn sure not a professional. This is cryptocurrency. You got to do your own research. Don't ever allow an influencer on any social media platform out there to influence when it comes to cryptocurrency. You could lose it all. Happy New Year to you, Goo God. I'm still having my coffee. I woke up and I looked at the chat, and everyone was talking with Goo God about a chat room he posted in chat. And I was like, are they giving him a hard time? I was like, you must not know Goo God. So don't fade Goo God. He's there here in the chat. He needs no introduction. Listen, man. This year for Christmas, your calls, you had some early calls and stuff. We had a jolly Merry Christmas. I was like very thankful. And prior to Christmas, man, talking like early 2024 on Pulsechain, it's a massive call. So shout out to Goo God and the Alien Squad, Enki, Alien X, everything you do for the community. Beautiful thing. Let's see. So we want to talk about today, what we learned in 2024. And most of my lessons were on Pulsechain. Right? Like I have been on Ethereum for a while. I've risked it for the biscuit on utility plays that didn't play out, meme tokens that didn't play out, DeFi dApps, you name it. And I always see I don't know, things are changing. Communities are growing. Language is changing in the space. It's funny to me. It's hilarious, but I don't know what's going on with the environment because I'm looking at Bitcoin right now, right at the end of the year. We're at $94,000, and the sentiment across the space right now in crypto, you would think that Bitcoin is still $60,000, and that's because Bitcoin has gone up to 100,000, 107,000, and the rest of the market's we went up a little bit, but not enough to write a letter home about, right? Like we want to see Ethereum back at all-time highs. A lot of you guys that watch me have leverage plays on actual Ethereum. Ethereum does well. Your token will probably do as well. Also, that includes, Pulsechain, Bruno, and all the other aspects of that ecosystem. Again, we don't talk about Bruno, but most of you guys know what I'm referring to. So, you're dependent on the Ethereum price, and it would be beautiful to see Ethereum at $5,000, but we're where we're at for whatever reason. The cycles, you can go out there and some people say these are the cycles. We're almost there. Altcoin season is going to be starting, and just wait for it. You'll see that across the board. But if you're a Pulsechain, since the launch and the SEC, came after Richard Hart, we saw dumps below SAC price, right? And that happened in July of 2023, at the very end of July of 2023. So going into 2024, I think the biggest lesson that I feel that most people learn the hard way, and that I learned through the developments on Pulsechain. And now you see, like, one full year later, the community coming together, and it's almost like narratives humbled the people on Pulsechain. Majority of them are now acknowledging and expressing their frustration that the narrative and the altcoins and the meme tokens of Pulsechain have outperformed the core tokens for many reasons, right? And a lot of you guys probably watch B Roots, Ian. You know, I've watched them for a long time. I like those guys. I think they're like Goo God. They're early. They got, you know, there's crews of people out there that I'm connecting with that are in the know, and they catch a lot of early things. And you know, one thing B Roots had said that I like, and I think it factors in, especially today, talking about these lessons of Pulsechain, is the degens run the chain, right? And when I first heard that, I was like, the degens run the chain. Like, what do you mean, bro? What do you mean the degens run the chain? Like, you know, we're all degen to be on Pulsechain, but not everybody. Like, there was a big maxi mentality going into 2024, guys. Like, what happened? Maria surfaced. Now, Maria, he, she, him, her, this, that, and whatever. I don't know. The Atropa developer. You know, we'll narrow it down to the Atropa dev. You know, came out with the liquidity webs. Some things we've never seen before. Some real tomfoolery, right? Like things that I'm like, what am I looking at here, right? What am I looking at here? And let me pull myself off screen to fix this a little bit. Let me fix my camera. Make sure. Okay, yeah. You know what? My camera was looking a little iffy right there. I'll put myself back on. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with it. Am I fading out? Am I fading out? Anyways, I'll keep it on the screen here. Don't worry about it. So Maria just came along, came up with the liquidity webs. You know, we'll go on deck screener really quick and take a look at the price. And then you saw the birth of PTGC. You saw, you know, that alien technology surface. People started putting Hart's Law into action, right? And these tokens, particular tokens, for example, like PTGC, you know, the PDI narratives, they actually never got accepted by the community. Now, like I said, people have been humbled. So the thing is narratives, and I've said this for a long time, right? And we'll go to the Atropa price. Narratives are the biggest thing in crypto. Narratives are the biggest thing in all of crypto. And why is that? Because it's a belief in something greater than just your average core token. It's the biggest, you know, speculative sector, right? Is these narratives. And what bigger narrative that we have on the entire Pulsechain ecosystem than the Atropa developer making these liquidity webs in search for trying to support the peg of PDI, right? And this was before, you know, vaults and crypto-backed collateralization via the OA and, you know, putting all these proposals. This was a system put together by Maria designed to help PDI peg. And whether you believed in that narrative or not, right? Because I said it from day one. I said, I don't know if I believe in it. And this is me talking with my people about August of 2023. I said, I don't know if it could. I definitely can't prove that it could hit $1. I definitely can't prove that it couldn't. Whether there's some activity that's been going on the blockchain prior to Pulsechain launch, I've seen that. People that are smarter than me have showed me screenshots and shared that. So I can tell you that much, right? Like, I verified that. And who learned the hard way? The closed mind maxis. So narrative made the most money. And that's where I've always made the most money myself. Whether it's like, oh, this is coming, this is going to be developed, and this is going to happen. Like, it's always been a speculation of what's to come in the future. And what was to come in the future, and what Maria explained, the Atropa developer, was these liquidity webs growing and growing and becoming larger and taking on so much LP and so much volume, it was going to take over Pulsechain. And by gosh, Atropa, like, imagine where Pulsechain would be if Maria never showed up. There would be no volume. There would be no PTGC, no UFO. All that stuff was inspired by Atropa. Maybe it would still be there, but let's just say Atropa wasn't there and it was just PTGC, right? It's not quite as big as Atropa. Like, the webs of all these tokens that are linked up together that Maria put together for us, it's crazy. It's crazy the amount of LP, the amount of Ehex that Maria owns. Okay. The amount of Ehex that Maria has burned into different LP pools, the amount of PDI that's burned, PUSD, all the tokens that have brought volume during a time of like the worst sentiment. And why was the sentiment so bad? Because the SEC had just filed that suit at the end of July of 2023. August of 2023, people start understanding and realizing there's a development going on with the Atropa, and the narrative is born behind the PDI backing. And then people start taking more serious in consideration other narratives. Look at this token. I did so well, Linker, by the way. I'm so happy. And then you got Teddy Bear. And Teddy Bear still is one of those things where people are not quite sure what its existence, its main key purposes in this universe is entirely. But the speculation is that it will lead the meme tokens for Pulsechain, put us on the map. It will help with the PDI peg. It'll be bigger than Doge. There's a lot of narratives that drive it, and narratives are important. If we did not have Maria, hater or lover, we did not have the Atropa ecosystem, what does Pulsechain look like all of the end of 2023, where all the FUD was and the fear, and throughout 2024? Where is all the volume? There was not very much. There was like 9-inch and all that, but a lot of that volume with 9-inch, once we went back to bearish across the entire market and those crashed, the Giffords crashed and all that, there wasn't much trading going on. Where was all the trading happening? The Atropa webs, PDI. Like, it's a true thing. You can go look at blockchain, PTGC, then UFO. These big narrative speculative assets are running the chain. Is it the degens? Some believe so, right? Some believe so. Yo. R2R is the only influencer influenced me in cryptocurrency. No. I'm not a influencer. I'm just sharing my journey and my ideas. So the biggest and hardest lesson to be learned, man, right? And shout out to Westcott. Me and him followed each other recently, but I read his tweet from yesterday, and I'm not here to like bag on him or anything, but I want you to realize he was one of the big figures out there, along with many other people on Pulsechain that have like a influencer, that just have a big influence, right? That was saying, like, laughing at the ideas of PDI. Everything was goofy, right? And mad respect to him because, he stayed true to the core tokens, to his word. He never went outside of that realm. And a lot of them did it. But then they're realizing, okay, why would other people invest in these other assets? Why? Okay. And we'll get back to that question. Ask yourself why they would do that. Why would you invest in PDI? Why would you invest in PTGC? And I'll tell you where I saw his tweet yesterday, I go, man, it's hitting him. He said, Pulsechain is great for scammers. Looking forward to the day it's great for holders. Pulsechain Inc. right? And some will look at that message and be like, oh, yeah, he's coping. But I think in a way, he's expressing without saying it. And he's definitely thinking it and will never probably admit or say it out loud, like, because he's saying it. It's a place for scammers, where the maxis think everything is the scam, right? So they acknowledge like the scammers are making the most money because they believe like the scammers, Teddy Bear, Atropa, Maria, they're all scams. It's true though. They are making the most money. Are they scams? Nothing has surfaced to prove that the Atropa ecosystem is a scam. It's been the most money you can make in all of Pulsechain if you've been in since the beginning and if you were even late to the party heading into 2024. So fading narratives on Pulsechain has been a big lesson in 2024. Fading Atropa was even bigger heading into 2024 when you were still early on. Look how much it's grown, how much money you could have made. Go run the numbers where these assets were January 1st of 2024, right? If you want to look at numbers like that and tell yourself, because most people won't do this. And I do this to myself constantly so that I don't go and make the same mistakes. And I go, you know what? I need to find these opportunities, and not be bitter and not be, like Maxi. So anyways, he posted that tweet. So why would somebody risk their Pulsechain for these assets? And I'm going to reflect back, right, to PTGC in a minute. But let's take a look. No, we'll use PTGC. It's perfect. Why would somebody risk their pulse for these narrative tokens? The same reason why you buy a meme token on Ethereum, to make more ETH, to get more gains, to get more ETH. Because if you held your ETH hasn't done yet this bull market. But if you've gone into some of the hottest meme tokens like Nero, CTO, Pepe at its prime, the Chinese Pepe, a ton of different memes, a ton of different tokens that have outperformed Ethereum, you would have more ETH. So that's the reason. And how well has PTGC done? Well, look at the ratio chart. Look at the ratio chart. Look at this. So if you go to the beginning of this year, right? Let me do the 1 year chart of 2024. Always do these coulda, woulda, shoulda scenarios. January 1st, 2024, it was a ratio of 0.1260 pulse, right? Now the ratio is at 7 pulse. It's outperformed Pulsechain by a lot. And you could have got in here at a 0.12. You would have 7x your stack versus where you entered. Meaning if you went in with 500 million pulse around that ratio, you 7x that, you're at 3.5 billion pulse after the fact at today's ratio and price. 1 year later, okay, in an ecosystem that has been looked at as, nothing's going on there. They're below SAC price. There's no gains, but it is. It's under the hood. It's under the hood. When you look at Ethereum, you can't say, oh, all of Ethereum is wrecked because ETH is not at all-time high yet. Where you've had plenty of meme tokens, plenty of utility tokens, plenty of DeFi tokens that have 10, 15, 20x. You got to peel the orange, right? And look under the hood. Shout out to Vibra Finance. He got me into PTGC UFO Alien Week 1. Yeah, he's a good guy. I love Vibra. Shout out to him and the Morpheus team. So you would have been so well off, right? And then I look back and I go, man, Westcott, like, you didn't even have to onboard more of your cash, because I've seen him talk about working and spending his check on Pulse and buying more, and he's good. But if you had just put your bag on PTGC 1 year ago, you would have 7x your initial pulse stack and would have never need to bring in. Well, even if you did bring in more capital as far as onboarding cash into crypto, you'd have more plus 7 times more. So, yeah, the people that he called and referred scammers are winning, and I have mad respect for the dude. I think he's cool, but I feel bad for people like that because then I go, you know what? I just don't think they got the message because I think a lot of people look at Richard Hart and they think he calls everything a scam because everything is a scam or it's bad. He has always made it clear he doesn't talk about anything other than his tokens. No matter how good it is, it can be the exact same thing as what he designed, but he doesn't care, right? Because it's not Hex, it's not Pulse. So I just think people got that message wrong. And they might have even got it wrong too. Recently, he did a message on Christmas Day. He wouldn't even say deck screener, right? He wouldn't even say the name of this website where it because he says it lists a bunch of tokens he don't want to show. He wouldn't even do that. And majority of these tokens make up the volume that's happening on Pulsechain. Some might think, oh, he flooded everything. I think in a way he's just sticking to what he does. He doesn't talk about other tokens. So if you take that out of context, you're going to be thinking all of these are scams and selling them. It's just what it is. Missed a day where we could buy 1 billion PTGC for less than $100. Yeah, I was there, bro. It was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. 2024 was a great year. 2025 will be bullish. Yes. Gotta admit, tokens getting bitch slapped. Yeah, arch tokens, right? That definitely is something that's happening. It's really like, man. So let's go to another lesson. Here we go. Hey, man, some of you guys are thirsty. Some of you guys fell for this chick right here because she was in your DMs. I didn't get involved with this. At the time I was just really focused on the narratives. And when I saw this chick come up, I don't know what some people's problem is. I don't know if women is your your soft spot or your weak spot, but never for me. I mean, I'm married, I got kids and all that good stuff. I'm happy. Maybe some of you aren't. But some of you were going back and forth. I've seen like screenshots that never made it to Twitter that make it in these private rooms of just dudes thirsty talking with this chick and giving her the time of day and the platform, the time to spread the word. And the reason why I didn't take her serious because I knew, like, no, I'm not going to buy a token off of somebody that I don't think is smarter than me. I just knew, like, the way she moved and spoke. It was like this is like some kind of paid actor. I couldn't believe that so many people fell for it. It's weird to me. Men are thirsty. I'm gonna say that right now. I doubt like KDP was in the chat room with her, like, oh yeah, well, I'll show you. We're gonna go and this Pulse Latina and your farm is going to be great, right? And charts like these, like, I don't have a problem with, like, if I wake up and see a chart like this, I'm like, oh gosh, it's crypto. Maybe it's like something going on. But we know that this happened and never had any trading after that. Like the LP got removed. A lot of people don't use proper language. Like a price will go down. They're like, we got rugged. I was like, a rug is when they remove the LP and you can't trade or do anything. Like all of it. But anyways, yeah, like you guys got caught up with like 1995 scammer stuff right here. Like the dudes out there in the AOL chats that are pretending to be girls and scamming, those desperate men. It's crazy. It shouldn't run off with that much money. I didn't do all the digging. Like I was sitting back and watching all the people doing the investigation. Oh, we're gonna find her. She's gonna get prosecuted. Like, yeah, right, man. You guys will never see that woman for the rest of your life, right? She'll never be found. She'll never be found. I don't think she will. But you saw it happen, and all someone had to do was hire some little Latina looking girl and do that, and it was like, oh, got him, right? And then after her dude are walking away with the cash, all happy. Hey man, Post Latina and her dude we're doing the Carlton dance right after that. You gotta say it. Let's go. Vibrant Finance in the house. What's up, brother? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve. I was gonna say Bartertown got that voice note. Yeah. I think Bartertown did get a message from her and he ignored her, man. I don't think he was part of the thirsty crew, right? So yeah, we saw this 1995 AOL, but a little bit more detail with the video and all that. Just come in the DMs, have, right on her hand, I'm real. Like, who does that? Who does that? Red flag right there. Like, I'm real. Okay. Like, you wrote it on your hand. Good for you. Am I going to put money on a yield farm because you wrote that you're real on your hand? You showed your face. Like, I don't know how she was able to play the long game like she did for so long and then just make a dap so fast and drop it on your heads. It was weird. It was weird. That's lesson number 2 is people fell for Pulse Latina, and I saw it out there on Twitter, but they were denying Maria. They were denying PDI narratives. Everything that created all the volume that you see today on Pulsechain, everything that has succeeded at the highest of the highest heights and all the Pulse chains beyond the cores are now even leveraged on the core token itself. PTGC, Teddy Bear, all of the Atropic ecosystem, PDI, 10,000x on PDI was getting more denial, more hate, and less acceptance than Pulse Latina because she came out and looked like a sweet young girl, wrote on her hand, I'm real, did these little videos acting all, this and that, and people fell for that. But they men and women understood that, right? But they didn't understand the web of things were brewing up. If you would have got in, we just did the math. PTGC January 1st, 2023, you'd be 7x your pulse stack based off the ratio. But they went with Pulse Latina. A lot of you guys. I've seen the track records of the people that were talking bad about the narrative tokens that have won the most on Pulse Chain, but they were all about the Pulse Latina. Got him. Hey, man, she got you guys. I'm just going to say she got a lot of you guys. It's okay. It happens, right? It's okay. But sometimes, like, you guys just got to say,
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
You got to daddy chill. Like, hey, man, can't let these girls come up here and take your money. Damn, we got scammed into financial freedom, right? We got scammed. Hey, that's just scammed into financial freedom. So now, the biggest lesson that was learned was don't fade the narratives, right? You had months prior, very smart people come together, very big influencers come together, smart as well. August, September, October, November, December, 5 months of 2023 going into 2024, piece together the Atropa web, everything that's in there. PTGC was born. Boom, October 2023. We go into the new year with all these gems where you could trade out and have more pulse than you ever started with. You faded the narrative. And a lot of you were all about that Pulse Latino, all hot and bothered. Big lesson learned. Like big brain energy things came out, and it was hard to accept, right? But you would have increased that stack. And that's why people invest in narratives and in meme tokens. Not because they don't believe in Ethereum, not because they're an Ethereum maxi. You know, if you're an Ethereum maxi, you just got it parked on your wallet and you probably own a business and you're on a flight somewhere, not even caring about what the price is. That's just one of your many investments. The true Ethereum like whales. Most of you that got 10, 15 ETH would love to get to 20, 30 ETH. Right? So the people that do that at a quick rate go into big narratives, they go into memes, they go into utility tokens. They give themselves opportunities to do many X's because Richard Hart, okay, and I hex.com is the perfect place to come and learn about having the mindset of cryptocurrency across the board. Like, how is there any other website that's more transparent than hex.com when it comes to crypto? I don't think so. Right? You can come here, and I posted it on Twitter yesterday, right? And learn the different things about crypto so early on, right? A new user can come here and understand not only Hex, but set your mindset to where it needs to be to win. What other founder has done that or put the effort? They get their website up, they get the influencers, they get all the hype, and they get none of the back end truth of what's happening. So, what did Richard Hart put on Hex.com that's been on here for years? Under the too risky category, right? Imagine how risky it was to buy Bitcoin when it was only a year old at a penny. It's been as high as 69,000. Everything dips in price. The S&P 500, an index of 500 of the largest companies in the United States, dipped 36% in 2020. On its way to 6.5 million X returns in 12 years, the Bitcoin price dipped 94%, 95%, 81%, 86%, and some exchanges it flash crashed as close as zero as possible. Amazon dropped 95% once. Now it handles 50% of all the internet sales in the USA. Think of somebody who's onboarded to crypto and they find Hex and they read that. You don't get that anywhere else. And at the time, there wasn't much out there when Hex first came. There was, altcoins on Ethereum, memes, utility, all that. But a lot of people didn't understand this part of the game. If you understood and studied this part of the game, you do really well because you know just to hold through the dips, right? In its first year, Hex price dipped 81%, 73%, 59%, 67%, 87%. And then when it went to make it went on to make all our new all-time highs. Price dips are often opportunities for the impatient to give their money to the patient. Hex's largest price movements up and down are a feature, not a bug. People who buy tops and sell bottoms hand their money to those who buy bottoms and sell tops. In case you don't want to risk all of your money, consider putting only a part of it into Hex to gain some exposure. So he's telling people up front, like this in the volatility of crypto, and his famous words, volatility is the price you pay for mad gains, is a true indicator and a true fact. So you've seen all of the ups and downs of the core tokens, right? Being outperformed by everything, but they will have their time in this cycle where we are at, potentially on the verge of a bull market, where Hex, Ehex, Pulsechain, Inc. will have their day is very soon, I believe, right? All these dips have happened. All these pumps have happened. And what happens? They go to make all new all-time highs. That's like basically all the good cryptocurrencies out there in existence, including Bitcoin, including Ethereum. Hex has done it. And I believe the Pulsechain ecosystem will do that. And it'll be exciting times, right? Volatility is a part of things. These dips are part of the game. So you structure yourself, a big lesson in 2024 is you don't fade Richard Hart, but don't fade what he has preached. What he has tried to instill in his users is understanding how important it is to eliminate any third-party counter risk. Not your keys, not your crypto, trustless yield, right? Not giving your Bitcoin to a centralized entity to get hacked and lose your tokens, but to interact with the same smart contract that minted your HEX to earn trustless yield. That no other founder has taught people. In addition to that, being transparent on how markets work. No other founder has gone the extra mile to do that. So we all should be very seasoned vets at the way cryptocurrencies behave. But I go out there on Twitter and I don't see that. I don't see it across the board. I don't. I should see it more on Pulsechain, but I don't. I've seen a lot throughout 2023, 2024 of cannibalism, separation, but now, right? Now the lessons are humbling people and things are starting to bridge together. You are seeing people support the PDI narrative. People are interviewing people, different influencers are interviewing the PTGC dev. They are acknowledging SolidX. They're acknowledging Teddy Bear as the biggest meme token on Pulsechain. They're acknowledging everything because they've been humbled during these dips. It really is. It's fascinating to see. It really is. And it's good. I'm just surprised it took this long, but if we had entered with this mindset, where would we be so much further? But it's okay. It's all right. We're going to make it. R2R was promised Rich's turbo fast in crypto. What's going on? Turbo fast. You got. Don't fade morph. This is the change to get in at the lows. I'm good with morph already. I did 10 wallets on Morpheus, sold 2. So I have 8 sitting. None of them won the lotto either. That's why I did so many mints. I did massive mints to get as many tokens as I could and didn't win on those ones. Okay. So let's see. What was I going to talk about next? Oh, yeah. The lessons learned. Now, what do you think Richard Hart is thinking right now? Down $69 million in the red on sacrifice funds. He's not worried about it. It's been more than that as far as he's been down. Everything he's tried to teach us is there on the website. He's messaged it on numerous videos. I post on Twitter Richard Hart videos pretty often to not only remind myself, but remind others like how this man thinks. And I just feel like people hate him, and he's done so much. Let's watch this clip.
What did actually
clip? And I want to watch this one because I just honestly feel like for someone who's tried to be as transparent and honest with the people as he possibly can on the volatility of crypto, the vision you need to have, like you watch enough of these videos warning you about counterparty risk, warning you about getting your coins off exchanges, explaining everything to you. Like you don't get that anywhere else, but he's so hated. Like why? Let's listen in.
This is how it is what's going on, is what's happening. And so what do you think the people are actually seeing or think that they're seeing that's going to make you a scam or an excess? What are they actually see? Like, what is it that they're looking at? What do they see?
I think that they're upset that whoever has keys to the origin address or keys to the flush address has made the equivalent of $6 million in 2 weeks. I think they're jealous and they're pissed off about that. People hate Elon Musk. They hate him. Makes rockets that land themselves. Never been done before in the history of man. Makes cars that dodge accidents. Quickest, safest car in the world, and it dodges accidents. They hate that guy. And he made PayPal, which a lot of people like. A lot. What the fuck more could you want from that guy? He sleeps at the factory. What the fuck more could you want from that guy? People hate him. If they hate him, they're sure going to hate me because I haven't done shit compared to him. Nothing.
Right.
Not a fucking thing compared to that guy. And I am working as hard as he is because like I work 16-hour days, 7 days a week. So I am working as hard as he is, but he's been doing that for longer. So like, yeah, I defund scams by starving them of mind share and starving them of their referrers using a superior sales pitch. I increase security by getting people to take their private keys off of exchange to free claim. I audited 3 times the contract, which is openly verifiable and viewable and human readable. You can read the code. It's a little bit complex, but you can get a smart buddy and you guys could spend a couple nights going over it. And we wrote a guide called the Layman's Guide that tells you what all the functions are and what they do and how everything operates. You couldn't possibly do more to make a good project with unique, important features that have never before existed, real innovation. And we do all these things. Another thing, they say, oh, well, you know, isn't everyone going to dump on the same day? And you're like, well.
So yeah, that goes on for a little bit longer, but you know, I don't see where the hate comes from, to be honest. Like, it's just crazy to me. It's crazy. And all the evidence is all over the internet, man. Like literally, you can go on chain, see the OA addresses not dumping on people's heads. You can see, you know, a lot of different factors of, you know, what he pieces together to teach people, you know, how to be safe in crypto. Like, what more could you possibly want from a person? You know, and people hate him. And all he does is try to educate, to save you, to save you. Man, Ehex. Now, I want to talk about Ehex because I think this is like, I do think this is going to be the one that is going to shock. You know, I like PDI narrative. Like, yeah, you know, I've been about that. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to really happen. It could happen. It's very exhausting, the whole PDI narrative, right? Let's just have a bag. Let's have a bag. If it hits, it hits. Great. If it goes up to 10 cents, perfect. But Ehex is like, you can't fade that, bro. Like how low it went, right? How low it actually went. I can't remember. I think when I bought Ethereum Hex when it first came out, it had to have been like 4 zeros and like a 5 or something. I can't remember. I think it was. But this price here, it was much lower. It was 2 zeros and a 2 recently, right? Damn. Opportunity, man. There's no way Ehex just doesn't send, in my honest opinion. You got to think how many people have bags of Ehex, right? They are the OG investors of the chain. They're the reason why there was probably extra funds to get into the Pulsechain sacrifice, whether they sold Ehex and had money to get in, or sold the Ehex into the sacrifice directly. Like, this will be revisited by RH at some point, right? In the near future, I believe. Not a financial advisor, but I think this is going to be the storyline where we see what he's talked about before. And what he's talked about before on camera is, what if we have Ehex and HEX reach a parity on Pulsechain, and they're both 20 cents, right? If you remember that video, I've posted on Twitter too. So, you know, I don't think he would bond the two at 20 cents. I think it would be at a low number. So looking at like the liquidity side of Ehex, on Pulse because its biggest pair is Ehex with HEX. Liquidity is low enough. Market cap is low enough. Like there is like not a lot of money required to moon Ehex to pair it to HEX. Now there is the Banker X that has all that Ehex and all that. I don't think that's going to matter because like even if they capitulated, sold all their tokens, right, or they didn't, at one point when it's ready to send, it's going to break through that sell pressure and do what it's going to do. So there is going to be a bonding between the two, I believe. And I think it's important for the ecosystem to see that Ehex wasn't abandoned because, like, why would it be abandoned when you can bridge it over to Pulsechain? That wouldn't make sense, right? And it wouldn't make sense to have Ethereum HEX brought over to Pulsechain and let's say HEX be $1 and Ehex be a penny. I'm just throwing a number out there, right? It wouldn't be sense for them to be far off like that, especially when the idea would be to bond them together with Hart's Law before action happens. So I have been saying it for months. I think at some point you see Ehex skyrocket rather fast to peg to the price of HEX. And I think it's at a perfect price point to do that. Like 1.5 cents, you know, it's like a 5x from here for Ehex. Right? Tomorrow, after 15-year stakes, only 10 years go to 15-year stakes to come out every year. Let's go. A fart would peg it. Yeah, man. Like, there's not, like, I don't think you're going to have to worry about watching the money bridge in from the SAC funds to come and hit this. I think before we go into a bull market is when this happens. Like, when the market entirely shows that Bitcoin dominance has shifted, altcoin season has started officially, and you see the movement across the board in the entire market, I think that's when Ehex makes its quick 5x move, and it's going to happen in a blink of an eye, and it's going to meet parity with HEX. You already have Maria doing some things, buying a lot of Ehex, burning it into LPs. Yeah, right here. Someone's even saying it. Korean HEX will accumulate all the Ehex thanks to Maria. Maria is back and has said how crucial it is for Ehex to reach parity with HEX. I think it's the most important thing on the entire chain. PDI, like, PDI is a big narrative. Yeah, it could happen. Great. But I need to see, you know, people that don't believe in PDI, that are not investors in PDI, the OGs like myself want to see Ehex do well. I have Ehex stakes coming out for years. Every week, every Friday. I'm claiming them on Ethereum, and I'm claiming the free copies on Pulse that I set up a long time ago. So I have, like, personally, I want to see this succeed over everything else first, right? Like, hey, man, like, Richard, the reason why I'm here is because of the HEX, bro. Like, what's going on? Let's see. So we want to peg the ERC20 to PRC20, but not HEX. Make it make sense. Yeah. We definitely want them to be the same price on Pulsechain. That's the goal. And for liquidity to pretty much be non-existent on Ethereum like it is today. And what I do is I collect my stakes on Friday and I bridge them over to Pulse. And then I could swap them for PHEX over there if I want, or I can bond them together in an LP. Usually just sell them, but you know, those are my stakes every Friday. Set those up in 2020. They'll keep coming out for years to come. And they're big chunks too. I'm happy with that. I'm hexing in my heart forever, for a long time. A long time to come. So this is the most important thing. I think the lesson heading into the last day of 2024, the big lesson that has yet to be learned, but you'll learn it in 2025 if you have yet to acknowledge it. Because a lot of you are new, you're Pulsechain, PulseX sacrificers, narrative investors, fading Ehex. I wouldn't want to be that dude. I wouldn't want to be that dude. And you got Maria, who's done a lot of things in the past entire year, including the end of 2023 for the Pulsechain ecosystem, supporting by buying Ehex, burning LP and accumulating the tokens. And even said if PUSD goes up, we'll buy large amounts, monthly, weekly, whatever it was. Ehex has to succeed. Ehex has to reach parity with Hex on Pulse. I truly believe that. That's my theory, not a financial advisor. For damn sure, not a professional, right? I had a 5X, like Facing Reality said, it's just a fart can do that. And really, 5X is nothing in the space. So I'm excited to see what's to come, right? And charts like these, like people in Pulsechain should have like the strongest mindsets at this point. We've been through it all. I was laughing yesterday too. Alti, the price went down. I talked about that live. The price will go down probably below a penny, but we want a penny and a half. You guys go watch the recording. And I saw all these Hexicans post in the chart. I go, oh my God, how embarrassing, dude. Like, this is not like something you look at the chart. Like when it's supposed to go down, it's supposed to go down. Like that big red candle is supposed to happen. The claim happened, right? But I was like, man, like these dudes are tripping on like after one day of a token, whether you like Ulti or not. I was just surprised because I'm sitting back chilling. Like I'm a Pulsechain investor. I'm an Ehex investor. I sat through all this stuff and couldn't phase me, right? But I see a lot of these dudes out there like, oh my God, like you scammer, blah, blah, blah. Like in crypto, when a token goes down, you got scammed, I guess, these days, right? And that's why they call Richard at the peak right now with all that's on Richard's back. He's wanted over whatever country, Finland. SEC's after him. The price, the fact, all those things are just additional cherries on top. The main thing that people think Richard Hart is a scammer for is because the price is down. It's because the price is down. He's a scammer. That's how people think. Oh, I bought a token yesterday. It's down 50% today. I got scammed. Really? Well, didn't you go to hex.com before you bought anything that has to do with RH and he told you about the 94, 95, 81%, 86% dumps on Bitcoin? Talked about Hex 81, 73%, 59%, 67%, 87% before it made new all-time highs. Who educated you on that? No other founder. So as like an OG Hex again, I know who they are. I've seen them around, but I see how they act online too. And a lot of them are not fazed by that nonsense. Like, okay, tokens down a lot, cool. I may like have beef with some founders sometimes of some tokens that are going down because of things you see in the background. But other than that, weather the storm, right? Weather the storm. Wait, what do we got here? Ooh. Let's take a look. Toki and Mystery. Down pretty big on those right now. But I'm waited out. New Year's Eve. Will we come back? Pew! We'll see. We'll see. Just taking a quick look at Mystery there. I went pretty big on that one. And Toki too. But I was buying all the way down. So yeah. Goes down a little bit more. Maybe I'll buy a little bit more too. We shall see. We shall see. So things are going to 2025, man. Lessons to be learned, man. Narratives win the race, and like Ehex is now a big narrative. Ehex, the core token, the one before everything, is now a narrative. What's the narrative? That'll peg the Hex on Pulsechain. So that's where I think I'm going to make the most money in 2025 because I already got every big narrative that has gone from 0 to 100. Right? I just got through showing you everything I got in early, PTGC, all that stuff. And now that the number one token, the Richard Hart's baby, right, has become a narrative, and a lot of the OGs will argue the fact that it will not peg and blah, blah, blah. And there's controversy there. Ehex has become a narrative. And where has the most money been made? Narratives on Pulsechain. Second, third, fourth fifth place will come the core tokens will make us money later, right? This is no longer considered a core token. The market has chosen HEX, right? So I feel like this is where it's going to be. I just bought the dip on Toki. Yeah, I got some, what was it, last night? I saw it dipping more. So I'm just chilling. I got that dip. I bought Mystery. I'm down on Mystery. I've made so much money on Mystery. Like, I'm not down. I'm playing with house money, but I'm down on the house money on Mystery. Down a little bit on Token, but I'm DCAing, right? So, hey, I like where it's at. If it trades a little bit sideways here for a few days heading to the new year versus like, I'll probably still buy some. But I want to be here for a minute. And then, you know, we could have some new money coming up in that. But anyways, everybody have a happy, safe new year. Don't forget to pound the like button. Drop a comment. Till next time, we'll do it again. Yeah, dog.
Lady LaFontaine, just get it. It's R2R. It's R2R. Scratch the riches. Scratch the riches. It's R2R. It's R2R. Scratch the riches. Scratch the riches. It's R2R. It's R2R. Scratch the riches. Scratch the riches. It's R2R. It's R2R. Scratch the riches. Scratch the riches. Got my call from the R2R. Farmers going up, Brody, check the chart. In the loots, buying all these plots. Thomas G and Mike got the chat on lock. With a drip and pause. Got these dogs and pigeons, farm me, I'm ready to score. Got me a bag of the rich and hard, I think I need more. Group got me in the wave, now I'm swimming the shore. Now I'm up to the core. It's R2R, it's R2R. Scratch the riches, scratch the riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Scratch the riches, scratch the riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Scratch the riches, scratch the riches. It's R2R, it's R2R. Scratch the riches, scratch the riches.